This is KGW News at Sunrise.
He was a Renaissance man. He brightened up a room. He had a smile that just melted you. He made other people better.
That is the father of one of the two people who died this week in a plane crash in Newburgh. So coming up, we're going to take you to last night's candlelight vigil at Hillsborough Airport, where hundreds of people gathered to remember the 20-year-old student pilot.
Plus, a new chapter is set to begin for the WNBA. But the question remains, will Portland be part of the league's story moving forward? Everything we know about a possible expansion in 5 minutes.
Also this morning, we are taking you live to Northwest Personal Training in downtown Vancouver. So their first class of the day is roughly 30 minutes away. Sunrise photographer Eric Patterson in there early. We're asking you to stick around with us this morning. We're going to get swole together.
Get swole, huh?
Get swole together, yes. And we're also going to learn more about the Girlfriends Run for the Cure that's happening this weekend in Vancouver. So Northwest Personal Training there, Christine, is a big part of that celebration this weekend in Vancouver. The Girlfriends Run on Sunday. They've got a big outdoor yoga class for the community that is free on Saturday. What they need now, Chris?
Some good weather.
Yes.
Let me pump these clickers here. All right. Let's see if we can pump out a good forecast. Let's go ahead and give you the live look right now from our Wells Fargo sky camera. Kind of cool to watch this. What I wanted to show you, I know it's probably kind of tough to see, but we got a couple of stars out over downtown. And we also have a little layer of low cloudiness and fog that's starting to form here over downtown. Not nearly like the low cloudiness that we had yesterday, so I do expect that to burn off pretty quickly. With one exception, the coast. This is a live look from the Chinook Winds Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City. We're kind of fogged in there. Tough to see here from Cannon Beach, but we've got a clear sky there. Dense fog advisory for the north coast. In the valley, patchy fog this morning. That'll lift quickly. We are mostly sunny by lunchtime or earlier with temps in the upper 60s. And check this out. We are into the 80s today, a 3-day run in the 80s and really a nice 4 days ahead. We'll check out the full forecast in just a few. Let's get you out the door with a live look at the roads. That is up at Highway 26, Government Camp, heading over the mountain, maybe for an early weekend getaway. Looks good there. I-5 near the Interstate Bridge, your southbound commute. Lots of elbow room out there, guys. No crashes, no unexpected delays just yet.
All right, Chris, we'll have more weather and traffic for us here in a few minutes. But right now, we want to get to our top story this half hour. We're hearing from the father of one of the two people who died in this week's plane crash in Newburgh. The third person on board was seriously injured after that small plane crashed into a Newburgh home Tuesday night.
Last night, a candlelight vigil was held at the flight training school that all three were associated with. Our Devin Haskins has more information from the newsroom. And Devin, what do we know so far about these victims?
Yeah, good morning. We learned that all three were roommates. One was a pilot. The other two were students that were part of Horizon Air's Ascend Pilot Academy that trains students to become commercial pilots. 20-year-old Emily Hurd, a flight student originally from Spokane, was flown to OHSU with serious injuries after the crash, including multiple fractures. 22-year-old Michelle Cavallati was a flight instructor on that plane. He was from Italy. 20-year-old Barrett Bavacqua was also a student. His dad, Matt, was at the vigil last night and says his son died loving what he always wanted to do. He said Barrett had already passed his final test for his commercial license and was working to become a certified flight instructor. He was a graduate of Lake Ridge High in Lake Oswego. He loved to hunt, cook, and sing. He also played football and baseball.
His smile was infectious. His hugs, he was so astonishingly caring. He just bred happiness into people, and he lit up a room.
The FAA and the NTSB are now investigating the crash. They say they'll look at things like the plane itself, the weather, and the environment to help determine a cause. An NTSB investigator told me that it could take up to 2 years before the report is finalized. Christine?
Thank you for that report, Devin. This morning, starting at 9 a.m., the last 2 of 3 people are set to be sentenced in the murder of Clark County Sheriff Sergeant Jeremy Brown. Guillermo Rea Leon was convicted of first-degree murder late last month. He faces life in prison. Prosecutors say he snuck up behind Sergeant Brown while Brown was sitting in an unmarked car and shot him. Rea Leon's sister-in-law, Misty Rea, is also set to be sentenced this morning. Police say she was one of the ringleaders in a gun trafficking case that Sergeant Brown was investigating when he was killed. Misty Rea faces 25 years in prison after pleading guilty to murder charges. And in Tualatin, police have arrested a juvenile connected to threats that shut down Hazelbrook Middle School. Investigators say that person posted a message on social media threatening violence. The threats followed a video that went viral showing one student assaulting another. It's not clear if the young person arrested is the student at the school, but the district says measures have been taken to ensure student and staff safety.
Today is day 2 of what's set to be a 3-day strike for roughly 4,000 Kaiser healthcare workers in Oregon and Southwest Washington. The group includes hundreds of different positions, everything from radiology technicians and medical assistants to hospital housekeepers. They're asking for better pay, more staffing, and greater job protections. In a statement, Kaiser told KHW that it's offering pay hikes of 12.5% over 4 years at this point, and it's also accelerating its hiring process. Again, the worker strike is set to last through tomorrow. While Kaiser deals with that walkout, nurses at Columbia Memorial Hospital in Astoria have also voted to strike. The nurses union has been negotiating on their behalf for 8 months. We're talking about roughly 130 nurses in this case, asking for the same things we've seen in other labor negotiations this year, including increases in pay, staffing levels, and patient safety. The union says if they do go on strike, nurses will give the hospital a 10-day warning before it starts.
And the numbers are in when it comes to Oregon's paid leave program. Since August 14th, more than 10,000 applications have been approved, with over double that number received. So far, $15 million have been paid out. Those payments started going out in mid-September. And here are a couple tips for getting your claim handled faster. Tell your employer about leave before you apply, and check your account regularly for any follow-up questions.
The WNBA is set to announce its plans for expansion today. The league's expansion could involve the West Coast, but will it mean a new team here in Portland? KHW's Orlando Sanchez takes a closer look.
All right, we hear you. The WNBA has been teasing expansion the past couple of days. That was the latest. Coming soon with the caption 10-5, as in Thursday. Lindsay Schnell of USA Today reporting the WNBA will announce the Bay Area is getting a team. Its headquarters will be in Oakland, and the team will start play in 2025. The report also says the league is talking to other ownership groups about expansion in other cities. Portland has been in the mix for a while. WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert visited PDX earlier this year and has mentioned adding 1 or 2 teams. Senator Ron Wyden has been working to land a WNBA franchise in Portland. In a statement to KGW, it says he remains confident the scoreboard will end up with Portland winning the franchise. But for now, Portland plays the waiting game. We'll be sure to update you as soon as we learn more.
All right, Orlando Sanchez on the case for us today with the WNBA. Chris McGinnis is on the case as far as weather and traffic is concerned this morning. So let's start with weather.
No drama with the weather this morning. We are full speed ahead to a 4-day run of fantastic weather. And in October,
I hear no complaints.
Yeah, that's good. And we won't take any. We are looking great. Let's go ahead and get you the map right now. The one exception, unless you like fog, we've got dense fog along the Oregon coast and the South Washington coast. That dense fog advisory in effect until 9 a.m. The big perspective across the region shows nothing offshore. High pressure, large and in charge, and that will be the dominant weather feature the next few days. But before that happens, again, foggy at the Chinook Winds Casino Resort in Lincoln City. Can't see much there. Cannon Beach camera, you can kind of make out the silhouette of Haystack Rock, and there are some stars there. So in some cases, we've got a clear sky and not much fog. But there is a dense fog advisory for the South Washington and the North Oregon coast. Visibility right now in Astoria down to a quarter mile. And at last check, PDX now has slipped down to a half a mile visibility. So the fog is starting to form over downtown. In fact, check this out. This is our Wells Fargo sky camera, and this is definitely, it's kind of cool. You can see the tops of the buildings here over on the east side, and then that fog layer kind of settling in here. We could see stars a few minutes ago. Now we can't. So fog is beginning to build in, and that'll be an issue, I think, for the first part of the day. 54 last check at PDX, 53 in Hillsboro, and the big perspective across the region in the 30s in eastern Oregon this morning. Baker City at 34, Burns at 36. All right, satellite radar, again, not showing much other than the low cloudiness and fog. Futurecast shows as the breeze picks up, the fog dissipates. By late morning, we should be mostly sunny. Full sunshine this afternoon, and as that east breeze intensifies, it will turn breezy through the west end of the gorge today. That will help to boost our temperatures a bit today, and it will help to keep our temperatures pretty warm for overnight lows. Not only are we flirting with maybe some record highs in our 7-day forecast, but we're also flirting with some record warm overnight lows the next couple of days. So it's going to feel downright summer-like here for this first full weekend of October. And as we mentioned, dry. I'll just let the clock roll on Futurecast. It looks great. All right, this morning, temperatures in the 50s. Futurecast likes 80, maybe 81 here in Portland this afternoon. Not a record, but still pretty warm. Let's roll into the overnight hours. And again, with the east breeze, and not everybody will feel the east breeze, but if you do, that keeps the atmosphere mixed. It doesn't allow temperatures to cool off. And Futurecast is suggesting that Portland only gets to 63 for an overnight low tonight. Why am I so over the top about that? That would be a record warm overnight low. So that's pretty impressive here for October. Sunshine this afternoon, sunny, breezy tomorrow. The record high, by the way, for Saturday is 83, and I think there's a reasonable shot we take a run at that. And then rain returns next week, but who cares? That's next week. Drew, back to you.
I believe that means pumpkin patches will be packed this weekend, Chris McGinnis. All right.